I have plant care to do. I didn't have a video idea, so I'm just going to film my plant care. By plant care, this is mainly like spraying for pests, but there's all of these guys and not a one between them is looking good. I used to have the Thrips plants in the bathroom, the medium plants here, and all the good plants downstairs, but these are the bathroom plants. The bathroom is a bit, oh, I've got makeup on the back of my hand. It's a bit cold in the bathroom now, so they're all coming here. So I'm just going to grab them and spray them. I wanted to like have the camera further away and get the whole thing in shot and just like walk around, but my microphone does this thing where it goes I'm not sure that's what we're after, so I'm just gonna do whatever we do. I'm gonna start at the top and work down. I'm not entirely sure what this is. I need some scissors. Scissors. Bin. Oh, there's actually not that many dead leaves on this one. Mainly because there's not that many leaves. So she's okay. She's fine, because obviously she's alive. This bit, I think what's happened is she's like, this is too long. I'm gonna start growing here, and then something's happening here, but we've got this like she's sort of changed her mind. So I think I watered them all last week, so they're not, no, she doesn't need watering. So I'm just gonna check her for thrips. Why am I checking that? I'm just gonna spray her anyway. Put my bin down. This is just neem oil and water. A lot of people don't like neem oil. I've never found anything that worked really well. That neem oil does work, but you have to keep applying it. But I haven't found anything that worked that you didn't need to do that, because we don't have the same systemic pesticides in the UK that you can get in the US. Which is annoying, but I'm assuming there's a good reason for it. No shade, maybe a bit. So the thing about neem oil is everyone says that it takes a long time to work, so it's better as a preventative, which as somebody that hates dealing with pests, I should really just prioritise this, but I don't. There we go. They all look wintry, and this one is so dusty. So I'm just taking off the dead leaves. I'm not normally like a dead leaf puller offerer. But oh, this is a nice one. This is a Monstera. No, it's not. I don't know what this is. I think, I don't know what it is. It's just a plant with leaves. I don't know. This vine here, it's a bit useless, so I'm just going to chop it off. And I don't really want it to keep growing because it's already got plenty of growing tips that are doing badly. So I'm going to cut it off here so it hasn't got like a new node to grow from. Just any of the see these ends like this in winter. Oh, there's a new leaf growing there though. On my forehead, that's the new leaf. I'm just going to chop that off. There's so many new leaves, but it's not got like the energy to do anything with them. Apart from this bit here, which is like this, there's a load of new growth in the middle. Yeah, if you don't take off the brown leaves this time of year, you can get a bit sort of fungus natty, just because the soil takes that much longer to dry out. It's a really nice environment for them. As the leaves break down, they grow fungus, which is what they eat. So yeah, I need some of those like plant stake things so I could pop that in there. This is one of those plants. Okay, that vine's gonna have to go. It's doing it's got new growth, but it's just doing like a little bit, it's just gonna tire itself out. Yeah, so this is one of those plants that I think I bought it because it was cheap. and I sort of ignore it because it's not particularly interesting. But as it grows fuller, I mean, it doesn't look great because it's winter, but as it grows fuller and fuller, it's a really nice like filler, just a little bit of lush green life that's not really going to require much of me. I don't even think it's got thrips, it's just got a lot of dust. But we're going to spray it anyway. So this is another one that I ignored. I don't know what this is. This needs to go. I mean, what use is that? Oh. So I'm going to chop this one here because you can see there's a bit of new growth coming. And also it's in lacquer, you can hear the water in the bottom. I'm just going to... Actually, this is a bit long. If I was a nefarious person, I could sell that as a, I don't know, a bleaker wet stick, but I'm not gonna. I am not a nefarious person. Look how this has grown. It was clearly like cut off here, and then it's just grown like, it's grown like a wet stick would. Get in there. This new leaf, it's growing really well actually. The new leaves are gorgeous. This is another just like a standard epipremnum. It's very like, I like it. I really like the shape. It's like an unusual shape without being weird. And it's the kind of shape, a plant with this leaf shape would normally need a lot more light. So it's more like a small bird of paradise shaped leaf. Kind of. I don't know what I'm saying. Spray her down. This Schefflera is having a nightmare. This used to be my like pride and joy. You can see where I bought it. I got it from Morrison's for 50p. It was in really bad shape. And I gave it loads of light and just took care of it. And it started growing really, really well. Then it got thrips. And thrips on Schefflera look a little bit different than they do on, like the thrips damage. Can you see underneath? You can't see at all. Not going to be able to show you without damaging it. The leaves don't grow as big and they go all like mottled and they get like black marks on them. I've been treating it for a while, but the problem is I'm really diligent for like 2 sessions and then just completely forget. So I thought, I watched Planterina's video and she said if you just keep at it once a week for a few weeks, they'll go. So I'm like, just do it. Right, I love the idea of these moss poles. But realistically, they're actually quite difficult to keep moist because you can't, when you wet them. So I was watching the Lecker Queen and she tips a bottle upside down. So like it drips out because of the vacuum that it creates, it drips out really slowly. You can't do that on these because all that happens is it gets to about here and it just starts dripping out the sides. I can't find a way to actually soak them properly. What you could do, I think the only thing you could really do is use wet moss when you start and then just keep misting it. I mean, I'm talking like probably daily, especially if it's hot. And then it would work fine. It shouldn't be that big of a deal for me because we used to spray the terrarium daily, twice daily. But yeah. This looks really thirsty. But it's quite thirsty. Interesting. Need a watering can. I bought these pots because they were cheap. And I hate them. So basically what happens is the saucer, very aesthetically pleasing, but the saucer fits, like the pot fits exactly in the saucer, so there's no space in the saucer for water. So once it starts leaking out, it's going all over the floor. The saucer is literally just for aesthetics. I'm doing this for no reason, nothing happens. You see it just sat on the top. This is what happens when you let sphagnum get too, it's still sat there. When you let sphagnum get too dry, it won't absorb water. Normally you can hear it like crackling as it absorbs it. Nothing. Oh, it's going now. This one embarrassed me. Oh, yeah, see? No, you didn't see, but the saucer is like literally like full of water. I think this needs a good soak. I think there's so many roots in the pot that it's not absorbing any water, which is fine. I'm clearly not going to get all my plants done today. I have no idea what is happening here. It's like she's fallen over. She has fallen. Oh, I don't know. Look, what is this? But we've got growth happening here. Can't see. That's new growth. So, Anthurium clarinovium get thrips. Not worse than Monstera, but they are harder to shift. They also have this weird thing where, so normally thrips like new growth, so I would pick this leaf. This is the newest. That's so weird. On camera it looks really dark green, but in real life it's not. But there is actually no thrips on this, she says, lying. Are you a thrip? No. There's a big fat larva there though. I have no idea why thrips like anthuriums. They can't do that much damage to them other than slowing their growth because their leaves are that thick that they can't like puncture them. But they just seem to keep going back to them. Can you see on this lobe? You probably can't see. It's covered in the larva, but you rarely see the adults. I think they use it as like a nursery. It's a pain. This is my favourite pot. It's self-watering. It was about a tenner. It's got an inner pot. I love anthurium roots so much. It's got an inner pot. It's just perfect. It's got a little one of these. What's happening here? And a little chute that you pour the water down behind the little, this thing. But I got it from AliExpress and I can't find another one. I can't even find anything like it other than you can get Lashuza ones like this, but they're like 50 quid. Sad face. So I'm going to spray it down. Now bear in mind when I say you can't get thrips off them. I've never tried very hard. I keep trying to turn over a new leaf and be better at looking at my plants, but it won't be until, I don't know, I'll wake up one morning and it'll be just plants, because that's what happened when I first got into them. I just woke up one morning and I was like, plants. I must have 5,000 plants and nothing else will do. Oh, one thing about anthurium, cut the flowers off. Unless you want to breed it. For some reason, this one isn't too bad, but once they get old, they stink like compost, but like bad, like just a horrible, like a bin smell. I do have another anthurium. That one's in Leca. Leca's a little bit easier for me to take care of. Also, it's got a measurer thing so I can tell when it needs watering. This is my other anthurium. I'm guessing she's less likely to have thrips, but that's her one tiny leaf. You never know how big anthurium leaves are going to be when they're like this because they start off tiny and then they grow huge. I'm not that worried about her. But oh, we've got rootage outside. It always gets to this time of year when all my plants start, their roots start growing out the bottom and they need repotting. I'm not repotting now, it's too cold. Plenty of people do repot when it's cold, but those are people that actually properly look after their plants. I'm not one of those people, so I have to wait until spring. So this is me coming from after I finished filming. You know what I mean? Sometimes plants, if they just look really like unhealthy and sad, but so if you googled like brown spots on my plants or like Basically everything about this would suggest that it's a humidity issue or a watering issue. This is Thrips, and I know it's Thrips because it's got fucking Thrips on it. There's a Thrips there. Just check your plants. There isn't like, this is not flattering. The chair is like right here, I could just move it back. So like, the issue with plants is that there's like 2 symptoms and a million different causes. So just make sure you're not just constantly watering it and thinking that that's the problem, because often it's pests. Or I mean, it can be loads of other things. Often it's like lack of light and stuff, but I know that's not the issue. This one is absolutely bone dry, but you know, it is also covered in thrips. So I don't know what my point is here, just check for thrips. It's also this time of year. This is an alocasia. Now it did have thrips, you can tell by the this mottled back. Did I say mottled back leg? No. So the way to tell whether alocasia are dead or not is to pick it up by the dead leaf and see what it does. If it just comes off, then you need to check the roots. But the roots on this, turn around. Oh, they're pretty good. Like you can see, they're fine. This will come back. Alocasia just hate not being in the rainforest. And you know, same. But they do come back really well. This one actually has started having a few babies. It just picked the wrong time, which, you know, we don't decide these things. So I'm just going to cut the leaves off. You can leave the leaves off if you want, and be careful when you chop them. Don't chop them too close to the base, because often there's a little baby leaf hiding in there. God, this is soggy. I'm going to attempt on camera to peel this leaf. Oh, it's like, oh, it's so soggy. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's interesting. I'm not going to be able to get this to show up on camera. You see this? It's actually full of water. That is full of water. You can't, I can just see it inside it. It's like bubbling. Oh, it's not water, it's sap. This is like a Russian doll. There's another baby leaf inside. That was exciting. I would also err on keeping alocasia drier. Don't let them dry out. I say don't let them dry out completely. This is pretty dry, but it's not like bone dry. There's no technical way of saying this. You just have to be like, oh, okay, and practice. So yeah, oh God. Alocasia do this thing where they're like, this leaf isn't working, I'm going to grow another leaf underneath, but I'm not going to get rid of the old leaf. So there's like 5 layers of old leaf over the top and then a leaf underneath, wondering why it can't get out. Why is it all sappy? Ugh. This is the only plant of mine that I would describe as actually being happy that's up here. And I don't know why. I don't know what I've done. I do keep it wet, which you shouldn't do for Hoya, but it seems pretty happy. Like it's still growing, we've got leaves growing there. We've got loads of, oh. What's happening there? Got like, what? Oh, so this, I'm guessing, I planted at some point. It rooted and then fell out. Okay, you can get planted back in. This is why people keep like plant diaries, so you can keep track of what you're trying to propagate. I like the surprise. This is a cutting off the same plant. These plants are hilarious because the bases always look awful. And then the top, it's just like, yeah. Still like, you know, still happily growing away, even though it's winter. Started his own new little thing there. But here, it just looks like a dried out husk. I don't want to cast aspersions, but this is the reason that the thrips don't leave. They love an Adansonii. Yeah, see, it's covered. Right. I think this one's going to have to go in the bin. I might keep like, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the very bottom. I'm going to wash the roots off and I'm going to put it in the terrarium. I've had this Adansonii for years and it grew really well under grow lights, but it couldn't get rid of the thrips, but now it's not under grow lights. They're really having more of an effect. And I could just put my grow lights back on, but I don't want to do that. This is a south-facing window. They're right next to it. They don't need any more. They could probably do with more, but we're in an energy crisis and I just don't, they don't need it. So yeah, RIP. Who will be reborn in the terrarium. And if it gets thrips in there, then there's predators that can eat them. Right, I am actually going now. Yeah, I'll just edit over the, I already said bye, but I'll just edit over that. So this is, I'm actually saying bye. Bye.